All right. How's everybody doing out there? Just broadcasting, talking about stuff. Um, this one's on paradoxes. Um, Paradoxes aren't real. What we call paradoxes are unnuanced impossibilities. Uh, the most, the most likely, the most realistic paradox, actually. Trying to get this straightened out so my head doesn't look all stupid. Fuck, who cares? Um, the grandfather paradox. That actually makes sense. But that, even then, it's not really it. It's what we call free will. It's actually building your personality. It's not. Free will has nothing to do with your ability to adapt this world. It's to adapt the world that's coming. To make your soul who you are have character. Does that make sense? And from then we can take your soul and put it into whatever body. Does that make sense? But if you just take a blank slate and stick into a body, it's got to learn all those things just to have a personality. It slows the whole thing down. Path of least resistance. This is us eating our broccoli and rice and shit before dessert. Then go to bed. Start it all over again. Understand? Okay, so as far as paradoxes go, for those that have an ear but understand what I'm saying, hang on a second. It's bugging the shit out of me. If I couldn't see myself, I wouldn't care, but I can see me and look stupid. So, who cares? Fuck it, I don't give a shit. For those that can understand what I'm trying to say here about paradoxes, please listen carefully. Paradoxes are just unnuanced impossibilities. To give you an example, the unstoppable force, the immovable object. It's not a paradox at all. It's just unnuanced impossibility. You're not saying everything that you want to say. You're not. We like everything to be really small and compact. Be the change you want to see in the world. Is that what he meant when he was laying with all those little girls, taking naps with young girls, whether he touched them or not? Is he being the change you want to see in the world? He let his wife die of a disease because they don't take medicine. So he let her die of the same disease he caught within about a week, and then when after watching her die, he got the cure. Is that the change you want to see in the world? I guess if he's dead, who's going to tell everybody to be the change in the world, right? He's far too important to not get the medication he needs to survive. She was just a tag along, right? And I think that's what Majors, the one that got in trouble with the whatever, apparently asked his wife to be more of a Coretta. And depending on what, that did sound kind of distant, didn't it? Yeah, it sounded kind of distant. Depending on what you know or believe about Martin Luther King, supposedly he was having affairs. That's why that didn't seem to bother my face. Having affairs. Not very good look, is it, for a reverend? But that goes back to what I was saying about people being who we need them to be, not who they are. This isn't about that. This is about paradoxes. So, the unstoppable force and the immovable object, the reason that's not a paradox at all is because you already defined everything that you need to define right there. Unless you have more to say. If you don't have anything more to say, not a paradox. The unstoppable force would blast a hole straight through the immovable object and then just keep going. Simple. Oh, it's immovable and impenetrable. Okay, then the force would separate as soon as it hit. It's unstoppable, so it wouldn't stop. It would bend. As soon as it hit, it would reflect into every direction in a thinner version of itself. Fuck, of course, the heater kicks on. Thereby scattering in every direction. No. It can't bend or change. See, now you're starting to nuance your fucking impossibility, you little shit. You want something, everybody goes, whoa, that, yeah, whoa. Can God make a stone so heavy that you can't pick it up? Yes, I solved that one within like fucking few seconds. All he has to do is make a pebble where he doesn't exist. You never said what kind of heavy. Either way, it's a weight that he cannot lift up. Because when he goes to touch it like this, his fingers would just go right through it. So he can't lift it. It's both mentally too heavy, and it's both fucking too heavy for him to literally pick up and lift and move out of the way. Double fucks your paradox without even fucking quarter seconds, and I'm not him. That is not a paradox. What you want is fucking everyone to marvel at how you created an impossibility. Which, you know, when we're talking about path of least resistance, you're the little asshole adding going, well, there's actually between 0 and 1, there's 0.00001, and there's also 0.00000000000. We could keep going forever on this. Yeah, asshole, we could. In a lightning strike, although intelligent, yours would never touch the ground. You understand? You're one of those forking branches that's an impossibility. While everything else surges down after that one electron that found its way all the way to the ground, jumping here, and that's the fastest way, boom! And you're sitting like, well, what if we count plus one voltage? We could just keep going and get a bigger lightning bolt. Fuck you. You're slowing things down, man. You're wasting energy. You're wasting time. Sure, we did. We went down that road. Like, but if we go down that road, we stop. Consider us like sharks. We stop, we die. But this doesn't stop. No, it doesn't stop, but it doesn't go anywhere either. Unless you're talking fractals. How small, how micro, how meta, how tiny, how... With this phone right here, you can look, and on top of that, it has a brain implant. Dude, I'm not looking to get no goddamn surgery. Contact lenses, yeah, sure, maybe. A stupid looking helmet with the glasses that could like a lens that could look forward, so like my reality, it can show reality and we can augment it, maybe with a big I like big ass headphones. So what's the big deal if I were walking down the street listening to big ass wireless headphones that were tapped in my backpack? I've got my fucking tablet broadcast in my headset that I cover, like it's got like a big fucking thing that just covers over this entirely. Do I really care? No. Especially with my earbuds or whatever in, I don't care because I'm not looking for, I mean, especially I got my hood on, you can't see when I have my earbuds in, you can't see shit. I don't give a fuck. They're noise canceling. Obviously there was a comedian, I can never remember his name, Nathan McDaniels, I don't know, he's a redheaded guy and he always kind of squeaks with his voice a bit, but he was talking about how tech people hate people. And it's true. Everything they design is to make it easier for people to not interact with people, to not physically interact with people, isn't it? Everything. This is a smart car. That way you don't have to worry about a driver bothering you and talking to you about his fucking day. And I would like to drive down the street without these fucking stupid assholes driving. So we had computers driving the car, then be robots driving, and they would drive correct and perfect. Wouldn't they? Tesla. Right into an overturned semi. Because it hasn't been briefed on what that is. You see how the soul needs to be a bit briefed before you have like collisions. And then other souls, you let them just run and choose their free will. Right? We are talking paradoxes, so we can get back to this later. Keep it in mind. Let the soul run free, decide whatever the fuck evil, fucking twisted, nasty, gross, evil, shit bag, piece of shit thing you want to do. Go ahead. Prove yourself. So that way, when the day comes that you realize what this reality is really about, there's no one to blame. You were just being you. And we don't need you. But we did learn a lesson. You can teach an old dog new tricks. We did learn a lesson. See, there is a positive thing that came. Before, heaven was a more tranquil, static place. And it's evolving because everything evolves. We were made in his image, so we're evolving, and so is he. He's already perfect. Exactly, and he's getting more perfect the more he watches us and sees what we do. We are a big giant mirror for him to look at himself and see what he doesn't like about himself and get rid of it. As I said, at any point in time, this whole simulation can restart at any second. In a twinkling of an eye, this whole simulation can start all over again. But this time, Hitler, he's miscarried in the womb. This time, the first guy who decided to go across seas to find someone else to do his labor, he doesn't make it past his 4th birthday. Well, he's innocent. Well, it's a simple kid, you know what I mean? Well, oh, what a tragedy, we lost. What could have been? What magical wonders could have been from that child? Oh well, we can make another one, don't they? I mean, because you only grieve for so long, don't you? Especially like if it died in the womb. You only grieve for so long because another period's coming along, isn't it? Especially if we were to go to more of a natural state of mind where that's not a loss. It's part of the cycle. We hate the cycle. But the cycle keeps things. That's what we learned. Without conflict, there's no story. The thing is, you don't need constant fucking story. It's nice when you're reading a book for there to be a bit of action and a nice little, relief of just kind of calm. And then right when you think everything's going fine, suddenly out of nowhere, action, you know what I mean? And you're thrust back into another great action scene. Aren't you? You know what I mean? It's just, and then you come out of that either relieved or sad or whatever, but it goes into a lull. And then the sequel comes. You know what I mean? And then it gets better. And it just keeps learning and keeps graduating, getting better and better. And then it hits a lull. That's because we're going from 0 to 1. From 1 to 2. 2 to 3. And we never have to go back to 0 again, from nothing to something. At each stage, we learn enough that we don't have to start from scratch. At least, we don't. Because he's merciful. Imagine if he made us go through this every fucking time that he has to go through it. No one ever thinks about how alone that must be to be God. And he can't help who he is, but his perfection makes us ashamed to be in his presence, really. Seriously, it's kind of like when a really cool cop, is at your party off duty. Right? He's not there to bust anybody. He's there to have a party with it. He's drinking beer. Are any of your friends going home early? Hey man, I've had a bunch. I'm gonna head on. Oh, hey Steve, I didn't know you're here. I was just gonna sit on the couch for a little bit. Right? It makes us ashamed of our own behavior because they are living by the rules. And it's not that he would, just as a person, Just as a person, he would ask you to stay so that you don't hurt yourself or anybody else. But we don't want that, do we? So rather than feel that, we just don't invite them to the party so that way we can do what we want, knowing it's wrong. Almost every comedian that ever talks about like Jesus showing up at a party is always talking about how lame it would be. He may smoke a lot of pot. You don't know. You seriously don't know. God made pot. God made mushrooms. Therefore, maybe he's done both and loves them. They're from his Father. Show me a place in the Bible where it says the devil created anything. Please do. I'd love to. Aside from strife, discourse, sadness, a tangible, and then the devil forged a dagger. Show me anywhere. And then he made a plant. No, because he doesn't have the ability to create. He has the ability to manipulate. Do you understand the difference? And if you find yourself serving somebody because the time is running out, ask them to make you something. Not manipulated. Something new. Something just for you. To show how well they know you. Since they know everything, right? They know everything, right? They know everything. I'm not talking about what time things are going to happen. Fuck you. Fuck you. Everything's set in stone. Of course everything's going to happen at the time it happens. You're just reading a fucking bus schedule, you asshole. See, I told you the train was going to be here at 4 o'clock. Told you. Cool, now make me a train going the other direction. Because that's what I need. That's what I need. I don't need a train going your direction, asshole. This is a train station. That train was scheduled to be here. That doesn't make you a prophet. That means that you know the system well enough. That's why you got to keep changing the system. Thomas Jefferson knew it. Every 20 years. Why? Why would you change every 20 years? One, you keep it up to date so that there's no confusion about the language of what is meant. Each generation has its new language and its new slang. If you were to tell someone a while back that their car was badass, sorry, foot pedal. He's designed to be kicked and stuff, but it doesn't mean you have to. Smoking pot. Paradox. Does it really matter? Does anything really matter? On top of that, if you can't put together what I'm saying, then does it really matter? If I have to finish the thought, like you can't go back and watch what I was saying and then kind of put together the thought, did you really hear me at all? Or are you just listening? Honest question. I'm being serious. Are you just listening? Kind of the same way I went to go play a song, and I was working on it. I was writing a song, and as I usually do, I feel for the melodies to kind of feel right together and whatever, and then I just go, and then I have like a riff, and then I go into this, and then whatever, and as I was playing it, I went, you have 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's usually based on 4 of those. For each part is based on 4. It might go 8 times, you know what I mean? But it's based on 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. It just is. Those are the most, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Those are the most simple, most common time signatures that are out there. 6/8 is basically 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because you're doing the 8 notes instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's 8. That's for anybody who wants a quick little. So, you're not going to find a lot of dance club playing 11-4. You might find some metal guys, 7-4, 5-4, some outshine type stuff, you know? And if you got some really good people like Jerry Cantrell, you can make the lick loop around very nicely. Where, although it makes no sense, it still makes sense because of the fact that it loops at exact timing, and it's really cool. It's really cool when it happens that way. But again, paradoxes happen because people cannot think non-linearly, as in things can be two things simultaneously. There it is. Not what I was looking for, but this cup of water. This is both water, ice, steam. It is all the above. It just depends on the state and the time. Understand? I can go pour half of this into a bucket and half of this into a cube and drink some of it. So it'll be water, liquid, and it just isn't there yet. But it can be. Understand? Therefore, at this moment, like Schrodinger, it exists in all those potential, because until I gulp the last drink, I could still go make ice, or I can still go boil it a little bit, couldn't I? Yeah, I could, couldn't I? So right now, it's in a state of paradox, isn't it? How? Because right now, at this very second, I could stop this live broadcast, as boring as it would be, and go boil all this. Yeah, I'd rather drink it. Yeah, that's wet. I'd rather that. But at any point in time, we are alive and dead. And our choices don't make any difference in that. There are people that have survived being shot in the face. There are people that have survived trying to hang themselves. I mean, it just, and that's not to dissuade. So that you understand there are worse things than whatever you're going through. It may seem like no one's out there and no one cares. Someone does. Someone cares. Someone understands. It's a tough situation right now, but we're all in it. We're all not all in it together. Some of it are in it together, and some of them are in it for themselves. I should save that for another one, for relationships. But yeah, if you're gonna claim that you are, I go looking for paradoxes now, Fermi paradox and all these other things. The problem is that unless you have a degree or some kind of title behind your name, no one gives a shit. No one cares. Unless somehow or another through tertiary, like, Bill Nye the Science Guy knows this fucking dude, and it's like, so the smartest dude I know, although he didn't graduate college or anything like that, he's still a very smart guy, then people still listen to it. You know what I mean? Because you've been let in behind the curtain of okay to listen to. Why? Who let Jesus? He met opposition the whole time, didn't he? He just kept on oppressing. Not oppressing, but he just kept on pressing on. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I should clarify. He just kept on pressing. Another thing, that's the last thing I'll say, and then I'm gonna end this at 30 minutes, well, about 26 minutes, because who cares? People say Jesus didn't talk about gay and transgender. He did. He did. And it's red letter for anyone who doesn't believe it. So in case you guys are watching this and want to prove it, you can go find your Bible and check it out. And then you can break out a dictionary and see if I'm correct. The words he said, at least according to the translation, because I don't know Aramaic, and according to the Bible, according to the red letter Bible, some are born eunuchs. Some become eunuchs. And some are made eunuchs of men. Covers all of it, gay and trans. I'll leave it to this. Why would a king trust a man to watch his harem while he's gone? Perhaps he had no interest in women whatsoever, but he couldn't live outside the king's city walls, as the king's court, because the rules say he has to die, right? Technically. Like I'll dress like one of them and be up in there, you know what I mean? And like if any of your guys, while you're gone, I'm your dude on the inside. You see what I'm saying? Like how are you gonna? And he comes out dressed, and you're like, yeah. Not that I'm interested, but I can see how like a guy would come in. I can see why you think that way and why you feel that way. I need a little bit of proof, if you don't mind. Like what? If they were trans, like it's fine. I've always felt like a girl anyways, to just get rid of it completely. Yeah. Yeah. What am I gonna use? Like you really don't care. No, it actually does me a favor getting rid of that. I'll still be able to, oh yeah, everything will be, yeah, I mean, but yeah, that is a no, you won't be able to do that. I didn't want to. I just want to hang out with the girls and talk and, be one of the girls. Okay. I guess got the gossip. Oh, you wouldn't believe King who came in. Really? Could you have him come? You know what I mean? So, yeah, we're at 29 minutes, so that's a good time to stop it. Think of me what you will, I got a little space to fill.